What if I told you that in just 7 days, you could become unrecognizable even to yourself? You're not here by coincidence, and I know that because I've been exactly where you are. Tired of trying over and over with no results. Exhausted from feeling like your life is stuck in a loop that never changes. A part of you wants to move forward, but another part keeps pulling you back to everything you should have let go of long ago. If you're listening to this today, it's not because you're unmotivated. It's because you can no longer keep living this way. And here's a truth no one tells you clearly. You don't need months, you don't need a new year. You only need 1 week, 7 days, 7 conscious decisions, a silent war against the version of yourself that's been sabotaging you from the inside. And if you truly commit, if you actually do it without excuses or pauses, you will become unrecognizable, not just to others, but to yourself. What you're about to begin is not just a motivational routine. It's a deep challenge, a total reset that will test your mind, your body, your emotions, and your daily choices. Because over the next 7 days, you will come face to face with your weakest and most undisciplined self. But you will also awaken the most powerful, conscious, and determined version within you. Each day has a clear purpose, and you won't be able to skip a single one. This process is not designed to entertain you. It's designed to rebuild you from the rawest and most real parts of who you are. This isn't about doing what feels good. It's about doing what is necessary. And if you accept this path, if you choose to walk it with courage, then you won't just change your habits. You'll change your identity, your energy, your direction, and the kind of life you're willing to tolerate or build. So it begins, without further delay, day 1 of your transformation. And it couldn't start any other way. Because before you can build a new version of yourself, you must first destroy everything that has been holding you back. That includes your excuses, your comfortable habits, your repetitive thoughts, and that broken identity you've been defending as if it were yours. But that has only kept you stuck in place. Today, you're not being called to make small adjustments. You're being called to declare total war on your old self. That requires brutal honesty, unfiltered clarity, and the courage to face everything you've silently allowed to weaken you. This is the day you stop negotiating with mediocrity. The day you stop making excuses. The day you decide to leave behind everything that no longer aligns with your highest vision. There is no room for guilt or nostalgia. There is only one way forward. Look coldly at what no longer serves you. Write it down, face it, destroy it symbolically if necessary. Your mind needs a clear signal that this process is irreversible. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past story. You are not your failures or your repeated patterns. You are the sum of the decisions you make starting today. And if you choose to let go of the broken version of yourself that you've tolerated for far too long, then you've already taken the first step. What's coming next won't be comfortable. But remember, no real transformation begins in comfort. It begins in fire, in surrender, in the conscious act of letting go of everything that can no longer go with you where you are meant to be. Today we move into day 2. And if yesterday you destroyed your old self on a mental and emotional level, today you begin to rebuild yourself physically. Because your body is not just a shell. It is the living reflection of your discipline, your willpower, and your level of self-respect. You can't claim to have a strong mind while living in a weak body. The body and mind are deeply connected. And every time you choose to move, eat well, and endure physical discomfort, you're also training your character. Starting today, every movement you make will be a silent declaration that you're taking control, not to achieve a certain look, but to build a structure capable of holding your new identity. If you feel slow, if you live tired, if you eat mindlessly, then it's time to bring order with discipline. Your vital energy depends on it. You don't need to become an athlete, but you must become someone who honors themselves through self-care. That means moving every day, eating with intention, removing what poisons your body, and cultivating a firm posture. Because your body language speaks before your words ever do. Today there are no valid excuses. Not age, not time, not weather. Only willpower. Walk, run, train, stretch, breathe deeply, drink water with awareness, clean your space, and remember that every small physical effort is shaping you from within. Your body is your armor, but it is also your temple, and respecting it is the first visible sign that you're truly taking this transformation seriously. Now we arrive at day 3. If your body is the foundation that supports your transformation, your mind is the engine that drives it. That's why today it's not enough to just think differently. You need to completely reprogram the way you see yourself and interpret the world around you. Because what you believe, what you assume, what you repeat in silence, those things shape the life you allow yourself to live. Today is the day you dismantle the internal story that has held you back for years. The one that says, I can't. This is just how I am. This is what I was given. And you replace it with a more truthful vision. You are not your automatic thoughts. You are not your doubts or your wounds. You are the awareness that decides which story to feed. Pay attention to what you tell yourself in silence. Identify the thoughts that come from fear rather than from your true potential. And start writing a new narrative now. This is the moment to take mental inventory and recognize which beliefs, which ideas, which inherited phrases have been sabotaging you without you even realizing it. If you keep telling yourself that you're not good enough, that there's no time, that it's too late, then your life will obey that command. That's why today, you choose to change the language you use with yourself. You let go of destructive self-criticism and begin to speak to yourself like someone committed to growing. It's not about repeating empty affirmations. It's about taking charge of your inner dialogue with stoic firmness, cultivating thoughts that bring clarity, focus, and strength. Feed your mind with content that elevates your consciousness. Eliminate what reinforces your limits, and embrace every challenge as a test sent to shape you, not to break you. Your perception creates your experience, and if you transform your mind, you will transform everything else. Today we begin day 4, and it's time to work on something most people overlook. Yet it changes everything: your presence. Because it doesn't matter how strong you are on the inside if your energy doesn't reflect it. If people still see you as the same dull, insecure, or invisible person, the transformation isn't complete. Transformation isn't just something you feel, it's something you project. And today, you begin to claim your space with firmness, not with arrogance, but with the quiet certainty of someone who knows their worth. Your presence begins with how you enter a room, how you walk, how you express yourself, your tone of voice, your posture, your gaze, your silence. You don't need to shout to be heard. You need internal alignment and external control. Pay attention to how you move, how you speak, how you take up space in the world, because all of that is shouting who you are, even when you say nothing. Today is the day you eliminate hesitation, insecure gestures, weak language, and the way you shrink yourself to avoid making others uncomfortable. From now on, you walk like someone who knows where they're going. You speak with clarity. You look with intention. You breathe with authority. This is not about pretending to be strong. It's about being strong from within and letting that show. True presence doesn't need masks. It needs integrity. It needs your energy, your body, and your expression to communicate exactly what you're building inside. Today, you become self-aware in every space you step into, and you decide that you're no longer going to go unnoticed. Because your new identity was not made to hide. It was made to inspire respect, confidence, and direction. We step into day 5, and today there is no room for pretty speeches or theories that sound good but are never applied. Because now it all comes down to one word: execution. You can have the strongest mindset, the fittest body, a clear vision, and a powerful presence. But if you don't act, if you don't make a move, if you don't do what you know you need to do, then all of that becomes a comfortable illusion that only feeds frustration. Today you stop over-planning. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop reviewing your ideas over and over again without taking action, because the perfect moment doesn't exist. And while you wait for it, life moves on. Your opportunities fade, and your potential rusts. From this point forward, every thought must be followed by concrete action. Every promise you make to yourself must become a real step, even a small one, but a firm one. Today, you choose to move, to speak, to act, to move forward. Even if you're not ready, even if you're afraid, even if you don't know exactly how it will end. Because action builds confidence, it creates direction, it generates results, while paralysis only builds guilt. Every day you postpone is a vote in favor of your old life, and every action you take, no matter how small, is another brick in the construction of your new identity. Today you act not because everything is certain, but because you can no longer remain still. Break the inertia. Take that uncomfortable step. Make that call. Make that decision. Launch that project. Face that difficult conversation. And prove with action that this transformation is not just an intention, it's a way of life. The difference between those who change and those who stay dreaming isn't in what they think, it's in what they do. Today we arrive at day 6. And after destroying your old self, rebuilding your body, reprogramming your mind, owning your presence, and learning to execute without excuses, now it's time to create the system that will sustain all of it when motivation fades. Because what you build today cannot rely on how you feel, it must be supported by what you've decided. Success isn't about occasional bursts of willpower. It's the result of clear systems that make your progress inevitable, even on the hard days. From today on, you design your life like someone building a machine. With precision, with intention, and with consistency. This is not about doing things when you feel like it. It's about making sure your environment, your schedule, your habits, and your decisions are aligned with the strongest version of yourself. Today, you define clear time blocks. You structure your routines. You remove everything that distracts you. You automate key tasks. You reduce unnecessary decisions. You build a daily framework where growth becomes natural. You're no longer improvising your transformation. Now, you're orchestrating it. This day is about bringing order, about defining what is essential and eliminating what is not. It's about installing the kind of structure that turns discipline into lifestyle and growth into destiny. While others rely on emotional impulses, you rely on a system, one that protects you from chaos, from self-sabotage, and from stagnation. This is where you choose to live by your own rules, where you design an environment that works for you, not against you, and where your commitment stops being a promise and becomes a daily practice. Today, more than ever, you understand that freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is structuring your life around what you need the most. And so we arrive at day 7, the end of this process, but also the true beginning. Because today you're not here to close a cycle. You're here to solidify your new identity, not as a passing impulse or a phase you'll forget over time, but as a permanent declaration of who you choose to be from now on. You are no longer the person who began this journey 6 days ago. Your thoughts have shifted. Your body has responded. Your decisions have aligned. And your energy no longer hides. Today, you don't just celebrate change, you make it real, you anchor it, you commit to it without looking back. Because the biggest mistake after a transformation is not falling, it's believing that you are still who you were before you began. From this day forward, every action you take will be a silent vote for your new self, or a surrender to your old story. And that choice won't be made by fate. It will be made by you, minute by minute, word by word, habit by habit. Today, you choose to protect your environment, to guard your energy, to strengthen your systems, and to surround yourself only with what propels you forward. Because you now understand that every external stimulus shapes your internal world, and you are no longer willing to expose yourself to what diminishes you. Today you write, intentionally, who you are now, what you stand for, what you no longer tolerate, and what you are willing to build with each day you live. Because transformation doesn't end here, it's only just beginning. And if you've done all this in just 7 days, then there are no more excuses to become anything less than what you now know you can be. There is no room for self-deception or settling. What you did this week wasn't a challenge. It was a declaration of identity. And if you had the courage to come this far, then you have the power to sustain it. Now choose to live as the person who was reborn in the midst of chaos, who walked through discomfort, who acted without permission, who built with structure, and who decided never again to betray themselves. From today forward, you don't just continue your life. You redesign it completely. Now you know what you're capable of doing in just 7 days. But this doesn't end here. Because your new identity doesn't need more speeches. It needs decisions. It needs action. It needs daily coherence. If something inside you stirred during this process, don't let it pass like just another inspiration. Don't save it for later. Because later is the refuge of those too afraid to begin. Today is the day you declare your full commitment to your path. Not halfway. Not only when it's easy, but fully, even when it hurts, even when it costs you. This is no longer a 7-day challenge. It is the first chapter of a life written with discipline, purpose, and truth. And if any part of you is ready to live differently, then don't stop. Write it, record it, repeat it, make it body and soul. From this day on, I commit to becoming unrecognizable to everything that once limited me.